If you own a Traxxas Slash, this has probably happened to you more than once if I had to guess. Sometimes this is the rear, sometimes on the front. Yeah, actually my front's backed out just a little bit here. It seems like these outside hinge pins especially, sometimes the inside ones, they bind up and they end up unscrewing themselves, and then eventually you have this situation where the whole control arm is coming apart. We are going to fix that today on this two-wheel drive Slash by using these STRC captured hinge pins, so it can't do that anymore and you don't end up losing parts while you're out bashing. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos just like this one. My Traxxas Slash here, we got the LCG kit on it. It is the VXL brushless version. Otherwise, it's actually pretty dang close to stock. And this is one issue that I have had driving it around. So STRC coming to the rescue, and we are going to replace these hinge pins. This is ST3640BK. It says that it is a full hinge pin kit for the Slash, Rustler, and two-wheel drive Stampede. Clearly, I'm showing you putting it on the Slash today. I'm going to go through all these different lengths of pins and show you where they fit on all four corners of this vehicle. The first thing I need to do is understand what lengths we have in here, because there's multiple depending on where they need to go. So I'm going to lay all these out in order of length so I have an idea of which ones need to go where. We have 4 longer ones, 3 medium, and 2 short, and they're also a smaller diameter. I'm assuming the 4 long ones go on the inside, and then these medium and short go on the front and rear outsides. I'm going to get this other front wheel off so I can make sure which one of these goes where. Here we can see the rear is just about 30 millimeters wide, front's just a little bit over 20, and clearly a smaller pin. So that's where this one's going to go. Medium's going to go here. And we're going to put those bigger ones in all the outside. I'm going to start with these this front hinge pin. All we're going to have to do, it looks like it's a 2 millimeter hex. We're going to take that out, slide this one in, and then what we do is just match it up with the appropriate size nut on the other side, and I'll show you the difference there. There you can see new versus old and how that's going to be just perfect in there. With that in there now, you can actually tighten it all the way up because it does shoulder up on the inside here of that pin, on the shank of that pin. So you can put it all the way up, and now there is no way that that control arm is coming off or that this whole corner is coming out. While we're on the front, we're going to go ahead and finish it up. And what you can see is the front is actually currently with some E-clips, both front and rear, and a solid shaft. Honestly, that's probably just fine, and it'll do just fine. Yes, with a big enough impact, you can bend or pop an E-clip out, and then you can start to lose that shaft. Yes, going to this is still definitely a better choice overall, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. What you need here is a small screwdriver or something. You can get into that edge of that clip right there and pop it out. Just have your other hand around it. So I'm gonna have to put the camera down because you want your other hand around it so that it doesn't shoot across your garage or your room. Whenever you pull this off, it'll go flying. So you want your other hand around it to make sure it doesn't go too far. We should be able to pull this E-clip out, push that pin through, and then just put the new one of these bigger ones with the bigger nuts, put it straight back through there. I was able to get that old pin out, new pin in without any issues at all. The only thing I do notice is that this front pin is extra long on the Slash, for the Slash application especially. I mean, we probably have 5 to 8 millimeters here of extra shaft sticking through. I'd kind of rather it not stick down like this because there's more chance for it to get caught on something as I'm driving. I may actually look in my spare parts bin and see if I have anything that I can slide over this shaft in order to keep it in this up position. All right, so check this out. This is a little brass bushing that comes with servos. I never use them for servos. For whatever reason, I just don't. You're supposed to put them in there. I always keep them, though, because they work as handy-dandy little offsets. And they just happen to also be the exact right diameter for it to slide over the shaft and stick there. That's going to be just about exactly what I want. So I'm going to put those on the front side here. And just like that, front on the inside, front on the outside is done. I can put this wheel back on, and we're going to swap over here to the rear and do the exact same thing. Now, if you have the LCG kit on your Traxxas Slash like I do, this next job becomes drastically more difficult because you just can't really get to that screw right there, can you? So you have to take the transmission loose, and you have to take this whole section of the chassis loose and off so that you can get to it. The good news is once we actually do this swap, these pins will be coming in from I can put them in from the back side now, and then we will never have to worry about that ever again. Here we have the outside is done. Fits perfectly with those medium pins, just as we would expect. I had the chassis off, so I went ahead and did both of these inside hinge pins while we were there. Note that I did end up taking these two screws right here out of the rear bumper in order to let that screw pass through. So it's still not super as easy as it could be possibly to get to these hinge pins in the future. But these two screws are a whole lot easier to take out than the, 6 or 8 that it takes to separate the whole bulkhead here. While I'm here, I'm not a fan of plastic hexes in plastic wheels on brushless power, and I don't care what vehicle it is. So I have these metal hexes laying around. I can provide you a link down in the video description to some that work for you also. They have the locking pin, the set screw in them. Looks like they will fit on here just beautifully to replace these stock ones. We're gonna go ahead and get these into metal while we're at it. That whole side of the vehicle is now done. I'm going to hop over here to the other side and go ahead and knock it out. I hope this video has been useful for you. If you have any questions to this basically must-do upgrade to any of the Traxxas two-wheel drive vehicles, let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about it or any concerns, any other ideas or tips for anybody else that's doing this. Put them down there in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you're curious about anything else for this two-wheel drive Slash, there should be a playlist popping up just to your right. Go check it out there. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.